Dawid Malan scored a career-best 143 to put his Middlesex side in the driving seat on the second day of their latest LV County Championship match at Lords against Derbyshire. The home side were already on top at the start of the day. They resumed on 105 without loss in reply to Derbyshire's 252, with Scott Newman already passing 50, something that his partner Sam Robson was able to do in the opening over. But to the 11th ball of the day, Newman, having advanced to a season's best score of 59, shouldered arms and was legged before to Jonathan Clare to end an opening stand of 119. Chris Rogers would have been determined to do well against the county he left in the close season. He hit one boundary, but then he edged Clare to slip on 11. That brought Malan to the crease at 141 for 2. A loss of form, governed by a niggling hamstring injury, has meant that he's not been able to score many runs this summer, but he's too talented a player to go too long without making a meaningful contribution. He timed the ball superbly from the off on this occasion. Robson was at times making batting look easy at the other end. The 22-year-old has often looked very good at the crease since getting back into the first team midway through this summer. By the time lunch had arrived, he'd moved into the 90s for the third time in the Championship this season. Twice before he's made 94, although he's not always been out on that score. He was this time when he drove at a wide ball from Ross Whiteley and offered Wayne Madsen a catch, which he didn't spill. He went with Middlesex on 207 for 3, trailing by only 45. Malan then, like Newman before him, recorded his first half century of the summer from his 96th delivery. Some tidy bowling from the visitors meant that Middlesex couldn't quite push on as they would have hoped. Neil Dexter drove a return catch to Greg Smith to go for 8. And after Jamie Dalrymple had made 14 with a couple of boundaries to take his side into the lead, he turned a half volley from Tim Groenewald straight to mid-wicket at 262 for 5. But some steady cricket then put the hosts more like where they wanted to be, as John Simpson joined Malan and added 56 in 16 overs. Malan was the key. When you see shots such as these, ones of real class, you start to wonder why he hasn't scored many more runs. This was a sublime innings for the 23-year-old, who's proved in the past that on his day, he is a super talented performer. He really deserved his 100, which arrived with a typically sumptuous drive through the covers. That gave him his 14th 4 from the 210 balls that he'd faced in 4 hours of crease occupation. It had been the knock which had thus far been the big difference between the two sides. In the same over, he lost Simpson, who nicked Mark Turner behind on 14 at 318 for 6. The lead now 66. The football season starts next weekend, but you're unlikely to see many better headers than this one from new batsman Tom Smith. It did show that Derbyshire were still up for a fight though. Smith had scored only one off the bat when he was bowled by his namesake at 329 for 7, the lead not too much for Derbyshire to handle at this stage. But in spite of some aggressive bowling from the Derbyshire seamers, Tim Murtagh and Malan were able to add an important 46 runs for the 8th wicket. Murtagh stuck around for more than half an hour towards the end of the day, trying to make the most of a tiring attack who'd plugged away in warm conditions. Indeed, Luke Sutton employed 8 bowlers in total. One of them, Smith, saw the back of Murtagh as he just about clung on to a second return catch. Malan would have loved to have seen out the day. He went to the best score of his career, the previous coming on his Middlesex debut 3 years ago. And he received generous applause when he was finally out after 5¼ hours of batting. He'd made a brilliant 143 when he flat batted a shot off Clare to Madsen. He could hardly believe what he'd done. It was a sensational effort, and now the likes of Stephen Finn and Corey Collymore will have to ensure that it doesn't go to waste when they get the ball back in their hands. Here they made sure that they added a few more runs before the close to make sure that at the halfway stage of this match, Middlesex are very much on top. They've taken their side to 397 for 9 to give them a good first innings lead of 145 to date. Day 3 will now be a crucial one for both teams, with neither second division leaders Northamptonshire nor third place Gloucestershire winning their latest LV County Championship matches. Middlesex will do their promotion push no harm at all if they can win from here.